Hi everybody, TJ Mac Vintage Cards here, and today I'm doing my 12th episode of my hockey case build, profiling the 13th card. So why don't we do a quick recap and we'll jump right into the next card. And these cards are between 52 and 63 Parkhurst and tops, trying to go for at least 3/4 body shots, if not full body shots, for all of the cards in the set. That's how they make this case. First is Gordie Howe, Rocket Richard, Tim Horton. And if you want to see any previous episodes to learn more about these players, please feel free to either just look on my page or go into my playlist that has all the episodes. Frank Mahovlich, Dickie Moore, Milt Schmidt to round out the first row. And we got Doug Harvey, Bobby Hull, Jean Rattel, Terrible Ted Lindsay, Gump Worsley. Last episode we did Alan Stanley, and today we have the 54 Parkhurst Red Kelly, great defenseman for the Detroit Red Wings. And here he is pictured obviously in his Red Wings sweater in full gear here. You gotta like this old equipment, like I always say in these videos. Just a super looking signature there. It's got the red star in the back, which they did in Parkhurst, as I've said in other videos. Red were first team All-Stars, and then the blue were the second team All-Stars. You see another red star here on the Ted Lindsay. It's a really nice copy of this card too. It's very white for the most part. It's got a little bit of browning in the corner here. These cards can brown sometimes, kind of like the Ted Lindsay, which is a higher grade, but it's not as white as this red Kelly card is. So it's just a great image of Kelly here. I think so anyway, and really like these Parkhurst cards. We'll flip it over, take a little closer look in the back. As I said before, it's in French and American, or English, probably a better way of saying it. 62 games played, 16 goals, 33 assists, 49 points, which is really a nice number for a defenseman during that era. And here it just talks about him. He's accepted as the best all-around rear guard or defenseman in the NHL. Talks about his stick handling skill. It says sound blocking, cool temper, and accurate shooting makes him tops among defensemen for the 5th straight year among defensemen. He led the league's blue liners in scoring, placing 6th on the scoring list, the highest ever recorded by a defenseman, and he made his 4th straight appearance on the NHL's first All-Star team. He actually was a 6-time first-team All-Star in his career. And he won the Lady Byng Trophy for the 3rd time in 4 years. And he also toured Korea last summer entertaining the troops. So, really a great all-around player, and from what I can read, a good person as well. So his real name was Leonard. They called him Red because of his red hair. And he really had a fascinating career. He played for 8 Stanley Cup winning teams, 4 with the Red Wings, and later on 4 with the Toronto Maple Leafs. He won more Stanley Cups than any other player in NHL history who didn't play for the Montreal Canadiens. Now, what I found really interesting about Kelly is that in his 12 seasons with Detroit, he was a defenseman who won the Norris Trophy in the 53-54 season as the best defenseman in the NHL. He's a 6-time first-team All-Star, as I said, and the Hockey News ranked him as the 7th best defenseman of all time. Really the only person that was better than him in his era at defense was Doug Harvey, who's really considered the 2nd or 3rd best defenseman ever. So in 1960, he was traded to the Toronto Maple Leafs. It was said that he played the 59 season with a broken ankle. The Red Wings asked him if he could play. They weren't playing very well, and he came out and he played with a broken ankle for much of the season and didn't have a really good year. He disclosed to a reporter in the off season that he had a broken ankle, and then he was immediately traded. They first tried to trade him to the Rangers. He refused to play with them. Then they tried to trade him to the Maple Leafs, and really at first Kelly didn't want to play for the Maple Leafs because the Maple Leafs passed on him when he was coming into the league from St. Michael's, one of the junior hockey teams. Usually the Leafs would sign the best players from that team, and they didn't really think Kelly could make it in the NHL, so they passed on him, and he was real bitter about that. But he eventually agreed to play for them, and then the head coach, Punch Imlach, wanted him to play center instead of defenseman because he wanted him to match up against the great Jean Beliveau, who was a future Hall of Famer with the Montreal Canadiens and a 10-time Stanley Cup winner. So he agreed to do that, and really he was one of the main cogs in those Toronto Maple Leaf Stanley Cup winning teams of the 1960s. So he really had a second career as a centerman after playing the first part of his career as a defenseman. Really phenomenal when you think about that. And Ted Lindsay called him, his teammate Ted Lindsay called him just a humble person, a quiet type leader, and he was really considered a spectacular all-around player. He could skate very, very well. He could shoot, pass. He was one of these guys that would really attack from defense, and that's why you saw his point totals were pretty high at the time for a defenseman in the NHL. When many defensemen were staying home back in their zones, he was coming up on the attack. And he finished his 20-year career in 1967, winning his 8th Stanley Cup with the Leafs, and he had 823 points in 1,316 games, and he was inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame in 1969. So I'm real happy to be profiling him in this episode of the Case Build. I think he's a spectacular player to lead off this row with, and I have a big player coming up next. One that I really have been wanting to acquire for a while. It's maybe next to my Terry Sawchuk, which I haven't shown in this case yet, but I've shown in another video. It's probably my favorite looking hockey card. It might even be better than the Sawchuk, so I'm looking forward to showing that off in the next episode. So I really appreciate everyone's time today. The case is continuing to come along really nice, and I really want that artistic look to it, so when it's in my card room on full display, it's really going to look awesome. So appreciate your time again, and have a great day.